Welcome, fellow Stardust. Are you ready for a scare? I see you've come back for more. If you're new here, buckle up, and thank you all for joining me today. My name is DeRay, aka Rainbow Fright, lover of all things dark, creepy, and weird. Today's movie review will be on South Korean horror film Train to Busan. So we are now in week 2 of my Asian horror month. Last week I reviewed Japanese cyberpunk Tetsuo the Iron Man, and last Tuesday I released a video where I talked about all 3 films in the Tetsuo trilogy. And sorry again for saying Tetsuyo too many times in both of those videos. Now this week, I watched one of the best zombie films I have ever seen. I haven't been this excited about a zombie film since 28 Days Later, and I questioned how they were going to make this drawn-out zombie tale take place entirely on a train, but they got really creative with the writing. Train to Busan is directed by Yoon Sang-ho, and he also wrote the screenplay along with Joo Suk Park. This is Young's directorial debut for a feature-length live-action film. Before this, he had only directed feature-length animation films. The film premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in May of 2016, and 2 months later it was released in July in South Korea. Now I know, I am really late to the game, but better late than never. In this tale, a father is guilted by his daughter into taking her to visit her mother, his ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife. Before their train departs, a woman sneaks by and boards one of the cars, and we can tell right away that she's infected and is going to be the reason why this train will soon become hell. Once she has fully turned and claims her first victim, we witness father and daughter fight for their lives alongside the other passengers. The film stars Gong Yoo, Soo-won Kim, Ma Dong-seok, Yoo Mi-jung, Seo-hee, Choi Woo-sik, and Kim Ui-sung. The casting in this film is just insane. Everyone killed it. It was impossible to not care for every protagonist we're introduced to in each of the subplots. It isn't until about halfway through when an antagonist emerges, and watching the power struggle between the two sides is a roller coaster ride. The film is 2 hours long, but it goes by so fast because things kick off early on in the film and it keeps going till the very end. And while this may not be the most original idea, the execution is mesmerizing. We get some amazing gore, kick-ass fight scenes, some beautiful emotional storytelling, and a dash of humor. In my opinion, not every new film needs to be revolutionary, and it wouldn't be fair to expect that of every film. Sometimes we just want to see a certain genre of film and all of the cliches that come with it because it's why we like the genre in the first place. Every now and again, there will come a film that shakes things up for a particular genre, like Scream or Psycho for the slasher genre, or even The Exorcist for the supernatural genre. The zombie movements are creepy as hell. I don't know either of these 2 video games, but the director referenced 7 Days to Die and Ghost in a Shell when describing to the actors how he wanted them to move. And there was definitely some CGI in there, but it all looks really good. In some moments, the zombies were like the ones from World War Z, moving so quickly and clustering up like they do when chasing people down. As the movie went on, I couldn't help but think of The Walking Dead. The zombies aren't quite the same, but the way that the protagonists have to come together to fight against the zombies made me think of the series. The group goes from reluctantly having to work together to fight against the zombies to then really working well together like they have been for a long time. Over time, they learn the quirks and weaknesses of the zombies, in turn becoming proficient at fighting against them. Not only that, but the reason why we love The Walking Dead so much is because of the character development of each character. Again, we have all these different subplots and we're invested in each of them. So when a character dies, it's gut-wrenching every time. The pacing in Train to Busan is just right, and as I mentioned before, the writing was creative. They don't end up staying on the train train the entire movie, which made things interesting and made the story more quote-unquote realistic. They made stops along the way, which gave room for even more setup in the third act. And what Yun came up with as the zombie's weakness was fun and new. And it really allowed for the train to become a manageable obstacle, allowing for some of the best fight scenes to go down. And like many successful Asian horror movies, the rights have been sold in order to make an English language remake, which I am 100% on board for. We've got Indonesian director Tomo Jajanto on the project, along with Gary Doberman, who will be adapting the screenplay. Gary wrote many scripts in the Conjuring universe, as well as It and It Chapter 2. And with James Wan co-producing with Gary, they can't go wrong. The Last Train to New York is set to be released on April 21st, 2023. Some people won't go anywhere near a film with subtitles or be reluctant to watch one. So when a remake is done of a foreign language film and is successful, some people will like the film so much so that they'll go back and watch the original. And that is one of the main reasons why I'm okay with foreign language films getting an English language remake. Plus, the production company who owned the rights to the film decided to sell them in order to make more money. The film cost about $9 million to make, and it earned $100 million back. But more money is more money, right? And I didn't know until after watching the film that there is a sort of a sequel out there called Peninsula that I am going to watch immediately if I haven't already by the time of this recording. Yeon said it's not really a sequel since it's not a continuation of the same story, but rather a story that takes place 4 years later in the same universe. There is not one thing that I would change about this masterpiece. Train to Busan easily earns 5 rainbow skulls out of 5, and for whatever reason, you can currently watch this for free on YouTube, and I'd say hurry before they realize their mistake. Well, thank you again for joining me today, fellow Stardust. I appreciate you being here with me. I'll be back next week with a review of Hong Kong horror dumplings, as well as a dinner and a movie review. So, if you haven't already, go ahead and hop on the Rainbow Fright Freight Train and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. That way you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you liked this video, please hit the like button and share it with a friend. I hope I see you next time. Peace.